He was a political game changer whose election marked a new era in Prince George's demographic.
Wayne King Curry, the charismatic leader who fought to improve the county's image, has died. Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, July 2nd. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Byron Scott. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, as the nation commemorates the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, Prince Georgians are mourning the loss of a local activist. Wayne Curry was known across the state, region, and nation as a visionary. Tonight, people who knew him well talk about his legacy.
He went home. He went home this morning, and he's at peace. He's with our Lord.
Particularly thrilled to be here.
He was called a leader and a visionary. Prince George's first African-American county executive, Wayne Curry, died early this morning. He was 63 years old.
He contacted me even early in my career and sat down with me, and I tell you, what a giant this man really is.
At a news conference outside the county courthouse this afternoon, attorney Arthur Horn among those who remembered the pioneering leader.
But you know, Wayne Curry could talk about anything to anybody. I mean, he could talk politics, he can talk law, he could talk religion, he could talk sport. You name it, he knew about it. He just wasn't talking. He was a deep thinker. He would think, well, okay, what does all this mean?
We have worked so desperately hard.
Curry, who became a county executive in 1994, was diagnosed with lung cancer. State's attorney Angela Brooks said Curry was unapologetic about his love for Prince George's County. She last spoke with him yesterday. How did he sound when you spoke with him yesterday?
When I spoke with him yesterday, his voice was strong, and in fact, he intended to go fishing today. He told me, you know what, you ought to stop by tomorrow, but do so after my fishing trip.
And on top of that, Brooks says Curry told her he had planned on returning to work one day a week.
It's a tragic loss for Prince George's County.
State Senator Joanne Benson remembers the early uncertain days, the 1960s, when she met Curry, and he was making a move towards politics.
It was Carl Rice who suggested that we take a look at Wayne Curry. I was very surprised, and I said, Wayne Curry? You couldn't mean the Wayne Curry that I see driving around in this Volkswagen with all kinds of flowers on it. She said, yes, that's it.
Curry's legacy is widespread. Under his tenure, he oversaw the end of court-ordered busing. Crime, too, went down. And then there was the battle over the football stadium and the team's then owner.
He took on people like Jack Kent-Cooke. I was there when he took on Jack Kent-Cooke. That is why we had the Wayne K. Curry Sports and Learning Complex, because not only did he cut the best deal he could possibly cut with Jack Kent-Cooke, he then required seed money for a state-of-the-art facility right in the impact area.
Several people have issued statements, including Governor Martin O'Malley, who wrote, quote, "Today, I joined the Prince George's County community and Marylanders across the state in mourning the loss of my friend." From current county executive Rashawn Baker, he was a visionary who raised the standards for the county and its profile locally and nationally. And like Wayne Curry, Dr. William Welch has dedicated his life to public service. Working in the community for 40 years, Dr. Welch's career spans before, during, and after the Curry administration.
He served as the executive director of the County Human Relations Commission for 25 years. In 1985, he founded Leadership Prince George's to address the disparity of minorities in leadership positions.
And he joins us tonight in the studio with more about Wayne Curry, his leadership, and his legacy. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be here.
What can you say about Wayne Curry?
Well, when you think about Wayne Curry and leadership, you think about something that was said by Francis Hesselbein. He said that leadership does not start with what one does. It starts with what one is. And I think that's significant of Wayne. One of the things everybody knows, Wayne had a temper. And sometimes people wanted to temper that. Okay. If they had some of the things that he accomplished, he would have never accomplished, because there was a lot riding on the first person to take that position. And he left a legacy which he could not have done if he had been timid.
Tell us about the impact his election and re-election had on the county and in addition to the entire region.
Well, I think it's hard really to say in a moment or two, because not only did he bring the county and maintain its bond ratings and so forth, but he was an inspiration, and he demonstrated that, one, people who looked like him could manage a city that was not falling apart, or a county that was not falling apart, because traditionally, usually when a person of color took the position, the money was gone. In this county, the income level and the educational level went up, and he continued from there. So I think he also set a vision for young men that they could become leaders and could be respected for that. And I think that we owe him a great debt of gratitude for that. But Wayne was a person who wasn't concerned about his image, he was concerned about performance. He was concerned about a purpose, and for that reason he was transformative, in that he truly did transform Prince George's County.
I talked to people today about his legacy, and one thing that a few brought up was the whole thing with the stadium, and how he was able to hold out and get what he wanted for the county.
Yeah, well, you know, it was expected that he would play the game and he'd fall in line. That's what people do when they follow, as opposed to, he didn't become county executive to follow. He became county executive to lead, and lead he did.
Tell us now, by the time you left office 8 years later, how had the county changed, you know, economically and politically?
I think the thing that sticks out for me is it had a new level of respect. And sometimes people point to brick and mortar accomplishments, but I would speak to the spirit that he left. And Prince Georgians began to look at themselves differently because of him, and people outside of the county began to take a new look at Prince George's County. We owe him for that.
And tell us, Doctor, what do you remember about him or will miss the most?
He could call it like he saw it, and it didn't matter whether it hurt your feelings. It wasn't mean, I don't mean that, but he was a person who just said what he felt.
Kept it real.
Kept it real.
It's funny because my last interview with him, I remember trying to get him to talk about a controversial topic, and he's like, you know, Patty, I just have to keep my mouth shut. I get in trouble every time I open it now. But his opinions were so well respected.
They were.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Welsh.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, meantime, others who both knew and worked with Wayne Curry are remembering him tonight. CTV's executive director, Sandra Peaches, calls Curry a good friend, having known him for more than 25 years. Now, she describes him as being charismatic and well-versed. She says one of the many memories that stands out is a press conference with Washington's football team announcing a deal to build a stadium in the county.
Mr. Cook spoke first, and he was saying, I didn't think this day would ever happen. My friend Wayne could not make up his mind, and both of us had simultaneously elbowed each other. We said, uh-oh, we're in for a good treat. And so with Mr. Curry speaking last, he said that it's not that your good friend Wayne could not make up his mind, it's that Wayne Curry does not let other people make up his mind for him. That was one of the...
She first met Curry in the late 80s and became involved in his campaign for county executive. She later worked with his administration and says his passion and desire to advance Prince George's was infectious.
Been friends a number of years, and I have had...
So I would say the residents themselves, even in getting away from PG and that type of attitude, becoming Prince George's, it made you feel that you were part of something great and that it could be greater than what it was. It was always what's best for the group as a whole. And even against some of the odds and some of the, I guess, opinions of others, he did what he thought was best for this county and for the citizens of this county. So in that respect, we should all be thankful.
And meantime, Prince George's residents are saddened by the news of Curry's passing. Many people praise the changes that Curry made to the county during his tenure, especially for providing more economic opportunities for African Americans. Now, CTV News went out to Upper Marlboro to speak with some people who are familiar with his work and legacy.
We have worked so desperately hard.
He was a great executive. He was a great man, a great lawyer. He was given a difficult job when he came into office. He was given about a lot of red ink, and he turned it around, and it was a wonderful accomplishment, and we're going to miss him.
It's very sad. He did a lot of things for the community. He did a lot of things for people in general. You know.
Did you ever meet him in person?
Yes, when he did the opening the Mission of Love, where they give out things to people who's not able to afford certain things like clothes and stuff like that. That's how I saw him.
Only recently had heard that he had lung cancer. I knew that I hadn't seen him for a long while, but I believe it was several weeks ago that I saw in flipping channels on television, I saw him in an interview, I believe with Jim Vance. I think he did a great thing in putting the Wayne Curry Sports and Learning Center having that built there, and along with other things that he did to support the community and the youth. I think he's done a lot, and he will certainly be missed by me.